2, 1.
Put everything down and crank your speakers up.
It's time for
The Realest Podcast.
Oh yeah!
We got us a new world champion!
And what is going on, guys? You're listening to the Realest Podcast, and welcome to SummerSlam 2017's prediction show.
Here we go, man. Here we go.
And just to let everyone know, yes, the pre-show for WWE is going on right now, the SummerSlam kickoff show. I have it on in the background as we speak, so updates will be going on as of right now. Obviously, we see that The Miz and The Miz Faraj are facing off against the Hardys and Jason Jordan in the six-man tag team match. Again, I will have updates when and what is going on whenever it does end. As always, joined by Andrew Bass, man. After last night's takeover, you know, I think last time that this happened, we were looking at I want to say WrestleMania. I said the same thing around then. Like, man, you know, I don't know if they're going to be able to really come back from that.
I think that they have a really good opportunity to come back from that. I mean, you look at what's on the card. I mean, that Fatal 4-Way alone is going to be amazing. If there's anything that happens surprise-wise, it's going to blow the roof off the place. So I'm ready for it. I really am.
I think the problem with SummerSlam is that, you know, the matches are just really hard to care about. I think that's the biggest problem with how SummerSlam is going. If I don't get to you guys in the chat, again, it is because I do have this on in the background. That way I could update everybody going on what's going on with the SummerSlam kickoff show, since there is a match going on right now. So, I do think that TakeOver will be better. I do think that, and I'm going to defend that. I do, without a doubt, think that TakeOver will be better.
I mean, with the addition of Adam Cole and, you know, O'Reilly and whatever the other guy's name is, Fish. You know, it's.
By the way,
Bobby
they're called the Red Dragon. Bobby
okay,
Fish
so the Red Dragon.
That's what they're called.
Okay.
I couldn't remember last night, but their tag team through ROH is Red Dragon.
Gotcha.
So, a lot to talk about. Do I think that this pay-per-view will be better? I probably not. I haven't been excited for SummerSlam, and SummerSlam is without a doubt one of my favorite pay-per-views. You know, number one will always be the Royal Rumble, and I think SummerSlam comes in at a close second. The only reason WrestleMania is not up there is solely because WrestleMania is more of an entertainment thing than it is for wrestling. I think SummerSlam tops it all. So, I don't know, man. I don't see tonight being better than what it was last night. WWE also doesn't have a history of having great 4-hour shows. You know, the Royal Rumble actually wasn't bad. The Royal Rumble itself is what killed that pay-per-view. You also, you know, WrestleMania also wasn't bad. It was just, you know, it was just so much wrestling that it hurt.
Right.
So, I mean, what do you think, man?
I'm going to stand by what I said. I think that it has the potential to really rival it. I don't think it's going to be better than TakeOver, but hell if I know. I mean, seriously, it could really surprise us. I mean, there's so many things that they could do. Excuse me, to make it better than NXT. And if they do all those things, and if the wrestling's good and the storytelling is good, who knows, man? I mean, that's what we want. We want to see the main roster thrive. So I'm hoping that it's a great show.
Yeah. You know, I think last night was the best TakeOver we've had this year, though.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
I mean, the match on the wrestling on the card was just phenomenal from start to finish.
Yeah. So obviously there is 2 title matches. There's obviously a match going on right now, but we will not predict that match because it is not a title match, and there's no point. Obviously, it's kind of hard to think that, which Jason Jordan just got the hot tag, and he's going in hot on Miz Faraj right now on Curtis Axel. So I'm sure we're about to see the ending here. So, goodness, he does give beautiful suplexes. He really does. Oh, we might have the finish here. Was that an angle slam?
That looked like it, yeah.
Oh, wow. So, let's get into it. The Cruiserweight Championship will be on the line. Akira Tozawa, who is the champion, goes up against Neville.
I think Tozawa is going to retain.
Really?
100%. Yeah, I don't think they're going to give it back to Neville.
Part of me agrees with you because Neville has done everything that he can with that title at this point.
No, yeah, I mean, you got to look at what you could do with him and what you should do with him. Keeping him in the Cruiserweight division, I think, is kind of pointless. I think they should move him up.
Who, Neville?
Neville, absolutely. He's proven that he could do good things with the title. I mean, he didn't save the Cruiserweight Championship, but, you know, he's definitely, there it is. Miz took him out. All right, so Mr. Raj wins.
Wow. Surprised they'd give that. Who took the pin? Sorry, I was letting my dog out.
Jordan.
Really?
Jordan took the pin.
Jason Jordan taking the pin?
Yeah.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, the very tanky Jason Jordan.
I wouldn't think that Jason Jordan would be the. Oh no, there's like nobody in the crowd. I feel really bad for him now because
Well, yeah, you saw it. Right.
I know it's a kickoff show. There's nobody
but the cameraman.
Is this a like empty arena match? I mean, I feel bad now.
Yeah, look at all those seats. They're all reserved.
Wow, that's awesome. So I think Tozawa, man, I don't know. Part of me isn't. I think Neville still needs it because.
I think part of that is their problem though. They shouldn't have these matches at the beginning of their pre-shows. They should have at the end of their pre-shows when people are already in the arena.
Well, I mean, this is the one that really doesn't matter out of the three, which I do feel bad because the Hardys deserve to be on the main card. It's just unfortunate that the Revival got hurt.
Right.
The other one on the pre-show, SmackDown Tag Team Championships, and I am one to say that there's only been one notable or championship match that has changed hands.
On a kickoff
show, and that is the Raw Tag Team Championships on during the Royal Rumble. That did happen. So I don't think that I don't like when belts change on kickoff shows. It could happen. Now, do the New Day retain? I think absolutely. I think the New Day or the Usos have had their run at this point, and as of now, there really isn't any other tag teams that can go out there, do anything. I mean, the problem is you do have a few heel tag teams that you could throw in there.
I could say right now, the Ascension.
Yeah,
if you actually do right by them, they would be amazing.
Which you could also throw in Authors of Pain. There's a rumor that they could be getting called up because, with O'Reilly and Fish, they immediately threw themselves into the tag team championship scene, and so I mean, obviously the three are probably going to have themselves a program, but you could see AOP. As much as I hate saying that because they're not ready, I don't believe that they're ready. I still think they have a lot to do before they're ready.
Yeah, but they're needed. They're needed with what's going on right now.
I know, but if they get called up, I just don't think they help. That's the problem, because when I look at call-ups, I think, how can they help that brand or help this division? When we were talking about this time last year, Bayley getting called up, we were talking about, she can go after Charlotte, she can go after, Sasha, this is right when the brand split happened, and we, just having those dream match scenarios. Obviously, before Bayley got shoved down our throats, and immediately we started, hating Bayley. So that's how I look at these things. I never look at it as, they need to be called up. I look at it as how can they help that division. And as of right now, I think the way Authors of Pain are, they don't help the division that much. Any division
at all, because
I also think that the NXT still needs it. And AOP's run was a good run, And I
It
think
was a nice short run though.
and I think if they did it any longer, it would have hurt them. I think they ended it perfectly.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Do we have new tag team champions, or do the New Day retain?
I'm going to say New Day retain for 100%. I don't think they're going to give it back to the Usos. If they do, I would be surprised because it's kind of like what we talked about with the Intercontinental Championship a while back, where they were just dropping titles and reclaiming them.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to. I mean, I would say the New Day has kind of added a little bit of legitimacy to the SmackDown Championships as of late by going against the Usos. So I feel like they're going to want to keep that momentum going and kind of finish off this series with the Usos, having them go up 2-1. And I hope they start a program with the Ascension and actually treat the Ascension like legitimate contenders.
I also don't think that I don't think it hurts if the Usos do win or take the championship again.
No, if they decide to put some faith in Breezango. I would say.
The reason why I say it doesn't hurt is because I don't think it would hurt all that much to have a New Day Uso program again. That way you could possibly build to let AOP kind of go in through their last programming with this triple because obviously the three teams with Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Sanity, and AOP are going to happen because you know that whatever division AOP is on, they're going to dominate. It's sort of like how we looked at Nia Jax. We knew that when Nia Jax got called up, she was going to dominate that division. And in retrospect, she has. The only people that are beating her are the top competitors, as in Bayley and Sasha Banks, as of right now.
Right.
So, and I mean, in reality, every time they do beat them, it's one of those things that they barely beat her. So.
Right. Like last night, it took the whole group of Sanity to beat the Authors of Pain.
Yeah. So, I think we're going to see dominance like that, and I think Paul Ellering brings another label to that. Great promo work from him.
Well, speaking of tag teams, excuse me.
You're good.
What do you think about the reuniting of Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose? Does it last a while? Is it going to collapse within itself tonight?
I don't think it'll collapse tonight, and the reason why I say this is because Sheamus and Cesaro need competition. And in reality, as of right now, their only competition, if we don't count Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, the only competition they have is the Hardys. So who do you put in that spot? So I think 6 months is fair to say. I could see the collapse happening at something like possibly Survivor Series. You could see a collapse. You could see something around. You could also see a collapse around Royal Rumble. But I do think that Dean versus Seth is a WrestleMania match. WrestleMania or Royal Rumble match. I think those two wrestle.
I could see that. Yeah, 100%.
Well, then again, I say that. It might not happen because we can't forget that last year's Royal Rumble was all title matches. Maybe except for one. I don't remember the card, but I do know that there was only one SmackDown. No, it was all title matches because the SmackDown match was the only one on the card.
Well, if they want to do something to kind of aggro it, they could always have them hold it until Royal Rumble, and have them lose it at Royal Rumble because of a mistake one of them has. And then at the Royal Rumble, both of them be in the Royal Rumble and somebody eliminate the other. As kind of like you've messed up, this is what you get. And that starts it.
Yeah, but I don't think that we see... I don't think it'll be tonight. I think tonight's too soon to have the breakup between those two and the heel turn. Because, again, you don't have competition.
Right.
And... again, like we've said for weeks now, all three tag team divisions need work and they need help. So, I think Survivor Series would be. I think Survivor Series is if they have to do it, if it's TV's bad and there's nothing going in their favor. I think the Royal Rumble's around the perfect time to do it, around then, and then having themselves either them having a possible WrestleMania match, because I think both of them could do well with a WrestleMania match, and then Dean going over, because I think Dean going over would be good.
So who turns heel, Dean or Seth?
Oh, Dean, 100%. You can't have Seth turn heel again. Because I think Seth is organic.
I think it's been a little bit of a transition, though, from him going into a face. I think he's definitely stronger as a heel.
I agree. I think he is stronger as a heel, but I think with Dean's face programs haven't been good. We both can disagree on that. Everything he's had as a face since WrestleMania 32 has not been good, and I think having him or Money in the Bank. I think since he's won the title, he's went downhill bad, and I think him turning heel would be a good fresh start for him, and I think he needs it.
All right. So that match, who wins? Are you going to give them the titles now, or are we going to give them the titles of pay-per-view from now?
Knowing the WWE, and I know them, I'm going to sit here and say, man, I think that giving Seth and Dean the titles would be a great way to get the crowd even more behind them.
Right.
But knowing them, I could easily see Cesaro and Sheamus winning dirty, and then another number one contenders match happens or something, and easily see Dean and Seth Rollins somehow coming back into it.
Okay.
But if there's no dirty play in it, I think easily we could see Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose win, because they just gained momentum last week.
Right. This long-awaited reunion, and they finally got together.
Yeah.
Now, here's another question: do they come out separate or come out together?
You got to, separate, because they're different brands. They branded themselves. I think coming out together. I think if they come out together, for one, what entrance music are you going to play? Because you can't play the Shield song, because it's obviously Roman Reigns' theme. If you come out during Seth Rollins, then I think that devalues Dean Ambrose. If you come out during Dean Ambrose's theme, then it devalues Seth Rollins. So I think coming out separately is the best bet.
Okay.
Because again, if you do that where they come out to the old Shield, it does nothing but it's the same music as Roman Reigns. I think that's dumb. And again, as I said, devalues each other if they come out during one another's music. What do you think, though?
I don't know. I think it could be refreshing to have him come out with the old music. It probably won't happen tonight.
Just revamping his theme.
It would be nice. It's just something that the WWE Universe would do. I don't see them not doing it, just because they would want to get that excitement up for a possible Shield reunion, 100%,
Mm-hmm.
Because all we're missing at this point is Roman Reigns, and if he loses tonight, there's a great possibility they could throw him in there, at least in the eyes of a WWE fan, especially a young kid who's been waiting for this to happen for, 3 years?
I don't think Roman will get involved in that, and the reason I say that is because they look at Roman too highly as to just throw him back into a stable. I think with what the Shield is, it's going to be kind of like, a DX reunion type thing. Every 5 years we get a DX reunion. By the way, the Cruiserweight Championship is going on right now. I'm kind of digging Neville's tights, by the way. Digging the all-white.
And then you got Tozawa just jumping around in the ring.
Yeah. So let's get into more of the matches that really don't have a lot of predicting to do. Big Show versus Big Cass with Enzo Amore suspended above in a shark cage. I think Big Cass wins that, gets his first big pay-per-view win.
Well, if you're going to keep relying on Big Cass to be a heel, you have to have him win. Because if not, all this building you've done at this point has been for nothing. If you have Enzo turn heel and screw over the Big Show, you pretty much going back to start, and instead of being going in a positive way, I think you're going in a negative way. Because although you're putting them back together,
that wouldn't hurt. That wouldn't hurt.
It hurts their sales. It hurts everything else. Enzo
I don't think
Amore
it hurts that much. Well,
is currently one of the most highest rated salespeople, or shirt sales going in. You know, like under the bigger guys like AJ Styles, John Cena.
yeah, but Enzo's good on the mic as a face. Imagine him on the mic as a heel. And they don't have that right now with heels.
But it doesn't help them if they don't have him actually do something. You know what I mean?
But it does nothing having Enzo getting beat up every single week in the middle of the ring and Big Cass really not doing anything.
Well, I mean, if they're gonna keep them separate, they can 100% transfer Enzo Amore to the cruiserweight division.
And that's a dumb move. Again, we would never see him on TV. No matter what, in any situation, it's lose-lose. And I think
we've been saying that since they split them up.
Your best bet is to put them back together if this is the case, which it probably won't happen. But if we're going to play this angle, the best bet is to put them back together.
Right.
But I think Big Cass easily wins. And then if the Enzo heel turn happens, I'll actually be happy.
So is there going to be a heel turn? What do you think? Heel turn, no heel turn?
I don't know. If I'm the type of person that if you're gonna do something, you have to put 100% effort into it, and if it fails, then you know what? Hey, at the end of the day, it was a mess up. And I think that Big Cass isn't. He's not a big enough name to say, okay, well, we can't really risk anything. So I don't think a risk hurts. So I think Big Cass wins, and we slowly start seeing Enzo Amore get off TV.
Okay. I'm still gonna go with with Big Cass winning, regardless of the finish. I don't think they're gonna do a heel turn. But you never know. It's WWE. They're probably gonna have Enzo drop something from the shark cage and screw over Big Show. But with what happened with Anderson and Gallows and everything like that, I just don't see how that would happen with him getting all the extra help. But I mean, at the same time, why would you have Enzo suspended above a shark cage if he wasn't going to get involved somehow? I mean, what was the last time we had somebody suspended above a shark cage?
Royal Rumble
with Chris Jericho. And did Chris Jericho get involved?
Actually, he didn't. Braun Strowman did.
Oh, that's right. I thought, didn't he drop something or try to drop something from the cage?
I don't remember. That, in all honesty, that the Royal Rumble is implemented in my brain as something to forget because of how the Royal Rumble match went.
Right.
Mike Ranger says SummerSlam looks like Raw. They just changed the logo as an equal opportunistic advertiser. WrestleMania should look like a SmackDown ripoff. I mean, Raw is the #1 show.
That's Raw for you.
But another match that I'm really not looking forward to. I mean, I don't understand why it's here. Randy Orton versus Rusev. I hate that they do this. They're like, all right, it's a big pay-per-view. We got to get everybody involved. What do we have for Randy? Well, Randy's just getting off his title, off of his title matches. It really isn't anything good for him. What's Rusev doing? Well, Rusev is trying to make a comeback. Well, screw it. Let's put Rusev against Randy Orton. Means nothing. And more than likely have Randy go over.
Well, let me ask you this. If Rusev beats Orton, what becomes of it?
Nothing.
Exactly. If Orton wins, what becomes of it?
Nothing. Just him getting wins back for the 4 losses that he has against Jinder Mahal.
Exactly. So this is just WWE's way of possibly saying I'm sorry to Orton for having him kind of get his ass kicked by Mahal for
that's the thing, and that's what makes me mad is he didn't even get his ass kicked. He literally he dominated every damn match. You can't say he didn't dominate every match because the Singh brothers got involved.
Right. Or Great Khali got involved, or both.
Every time.
So, I mean, I'm definitely going to go with Orton for this one. I'm probably not going to have the hot streak that I did during last night at TakeOver. I mean, I only called one match wrong, but, I'm gonna try to stay as bold as possible today, just like I did last night. But I just don't see any point in going for Rusev, because I just don't think that they're gonna do anything for him. And it's a shame too, because I kind of feel like Rusev at this point is kind of in the same position as Bray Wyatt. And I say that because Bray Wyatt, he gets these matches where he wins every so often, but it means absolutely nothing because for the next 3 or 4 months, he just ends up putting people over.
Mm-hmm. Now, moving on, Naomi versus Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Obviously, if you've watched the program, we usually put every match on there, but for some reason today they got rid of that and wouldn't allow us to put all the matches up, or didn't have all the match card layouts up for us. So we were not able to do that. Michael says Elias could completely... Hang on 1 second, I'm sorry. Elias could get completely over if he has a halftime show. The Rock interrupts him and they have a segment. Then Elias smashes his guitar in The Rock's head. Well, that's a fine because you can't do anything over the head. True story. Ask Undertaker and Triple H. Anything over the head is a fine. Plus, I think The Rock is too busy dealing with Hollywood. He's not gonna. I think if he didn't come back, since he didn't come to last year's WrestleMania, that he's not gonna come for a while. I think he has slowly gotten out of WWE for a little bit.
For now,
which is annoying, but who are we to say anything?
I mean, he's the highest paid actor in Hollywood, so.
Yep.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Naomi Natalya, is this Naomi's? Is her run over?
No. Naomi beats Natalya and Carmella cashes in.
Goodness gracious! I think this run. I mean, if Carmella cashes in, I think it's a win. But I do think.
Well, it has to be after Corbin's debacle. I think people were really pissed with that. So I think if you're going to have somebody cash in like Carmella, it has to happen.
I think it's the dumbest thing ever to go off and we're gonna give this guy the title or the briefcase, and then not even. It hasn't even been 3 months.
No, but they do that all the time though. They do that all the time though. They did it with Damian Sandow. Everyone knew he wasn't going to win it. And, he wasn't going to beat John Cena for it. Come on.
But it's like Baron Corbin out of Carmella and Corbin had a better he was
the one who everyone thought was going to cash in and be successful. Where Carmella, they thought that she was going to screw up.
I don't get it at all.
But I don't think you do that to the women, though. I think if they are going to have a cash-in, the first one has to be successable.
I think
it's just like with Edge. You couldn't have Edge fail his first time when he won. I think
it comes back to if you're going to get behind somebody, you need to get 100% behind them. Because they did it with Jinder Mahal. They said, okay, well, we need the India subscription for the network to go up. Jinder Mahal, we need you to do this, be this guy. You're going to be the champion. Hasn't worked, but guess what? They're still doing it.
Yeah, but they just gave up on Corbin.
I know, and
he had a good push. He had a good push, and he was improving. I'm surprised.
I think Corbin is slowly improving more and more and more. I think his promo work needs a lot of work. And I think he's slowly turned into where he does the same thing in the ring every single time. I mean, let's be honest. His last takeover was with Austin Aries, and I was real hard on Austin Aries and Corbin. I thought Corbin didn't do anything to help his case to make that match good.
Right.
So I do think that we could see a cash in tonight. It's really hard to think of what could happen. The only thing I could think of is Natalya gets mad that she lost and just beats down Naomi. If that does happen, we can assure ourselves to see it happen. The cash in happen. Or we could see, Naomi kind of celebrating and Carmella come out of nowhere and just starting beating the crap out of her. We could see that.
Right. I mean, I see James Ellsworth getting involved either way.
They're not going to have Ellsworth to put a hand on her, though.
Well, no, I mean, he might. I mean, I could definitely see... I could see, her putting her foot on the ropes and the ref not seeing him knocking it off or holding her foot down so she can't kick out.
No, if Carmella cashes in, there's not going to be a match. It's going to be quick. There's no way they allow, because Naomi is not Super Cena. She's not. She's not Bayley. She can't get cashed in on and turn around and have a match.
Right. Well, it looks like Tozawa is about to take this one home.
Is he? Let's see.
He's on top.
No, that's
He's
Neville.
doing his little senton.
That's Neville.
Ooh. Well, I mean, mine's probably like a few seconds behind you. He just put his knees up. Yep, now he's on top.
Yep, Neville just hit the red arrow. Yep, Neville just got it back.
Oh, there you go.
So Neville is the Cruiserweight champion. Titus
I'm
O'Neil is
a
looking
few seconds behind you. Yeah, he just hit it now. Well, that's a heartbreaker. That's a heartbreaker. I don't like that. I think that is 100% stupid. Why would you take the title away from Neville for 4 days? No.
I don't know.
That irks me.
I don't know, man. I don't. But moving on with our predictions, Raw Tag Team Champions, we kind of hit on it, so we're not going to hit it on as much because we've kind of already talked about it. Wait, we already did give our predictions. Raw Women's Championship, Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks. This one's hard.
I want to say Bliss.
I was about to say the same thing because you know that since Bayley is out until around Survivor Series or the Rumble, that when Bayley gets back, she's going to be put back into that picture. We all know this. So when she gets put into that picture, do we see ourselves seeing a face champion versus a face champion? We're still all waiting for the heel turn of Sasha Banks.
Which won't happen until Bayley's back, I think.
But yeah, I think it is safe to say that... I don't want to say it's safe because it is 50-50.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. If Sasha Banks wins the Raw Women's Championship, right, she would be, what, a four-time Raw Women's Champion. And if she does hold on that title, that means that there's going to be another program with Alexa Bliss at the next pay-per-view. And then after that, if they don't give the title back to Bliss, then they're going to have to do something else with the Raw division, whether or not that's Nia Jax or if that's Bayley when she comes back.
This is also assuming that there is no shake-up.
Right, if there's no shake-up, which we don't know if there is.
Which I think there is, because I think if anything, seeing Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryan in the suites last night was kind of like, hey, something's going to happen here soon, because when have we ever seen any of the GMs for each show or a show watching
on a takeover? Yeah.
I think a change is going to happen. Michael Andrews says, the king reigns supreme. Bow to your King Neville and smile as he allows us to pleasure his toes.
I'm not angry that Neville's a champion. He's a great champion. Probably the best that the cruiserweights have at the moment. But what I don't like how they made him drop the title just to give him it back 4 days later. That's one of the things that irks me, because that's when you start playing hot potato with the championship. I mean, there's no need for him to lose that championship unless his run's over.
All right, so this is what I'm going to go off of. I think Bliss wins. The Superstar Shakeup gets announced tomorrow. Tuesday and basically what Monday and Tuesday is kind of what WrestleMania always is. After the night after WrestleMania is basically like the final cut to the storylines.
No. Is there any chance that Carmella could cash in on the Raw Women's Champion if Sasha wins tonight?
I don't think that you can, because you're the SmackDown.
Last night she was teasing about how she was going to cash in on Asuka.
I think at that point she was just messing around. I think it's. I mean, man, because that does.
I mean, is it a possibility? I mean, it definitely could be, right?
If Sasha wins, yeah, you could. But I think that's kind of crazy to add that element. Because, I mean, I think they would have said that, she can cash in on whoever she wants. They haven't said that. But who knows? I think Bliss wins. Superstar Shakeup gets announced tomorrow night for the next week. And the same thing on Tuesday. It's kind of just, the hoorahs of, the final of the storylines. And then, obviously, that Monday, we see who's where. And then Tuesday, we see who's where. United States Championship match, AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens, special guest referee Shane McMahon.
I want to say Styles, but I don't know. Like, I don't see a harm in giving it back to Owens if their feud's over or going to be over.
I think it devalues the belt.
But that devalues the belt because they've already swapped the championship like 4 times already.
3.
So, I'm gonna be safe for this one. I'm gonna say Styles.
I think Styles wins too because I know that Kevin Owens, for one, is tired of wrestling AJ Styles. He doesn't want to do it anymore. Or reports have come out saying that. I think
who's bored of wrestling AJ Styles? Here, get me in the ring with AJ Styles. I'll wrestle him. I'll wrestle him for a year-long stint.
Right. So with that, I think that, especially with the shakeup, I think we could see the U.S. Intercontinental Championship swapping brands again. So I do think that AJ Styles wins this, and I think that Shane McMahon, of course, gets involved somehow. Because you have to involve him, because they made it very clear that, if you touch me, I'm going to retaliate.
Right.
I think is don't get me started.
Which only it would set up something between Owens and Shane, if that's the case. Because we've already done Styles and Shane, so.
Yeah. So I think Styles wins and then goes on to Raw in 2 weeks.
Yeah, Styles goes over tonight, I think. I'm going to be safe there.
All right. Now, this, just to ensure anybody that is nervous that we don't see the Demon tonight in Finn Balor, before we do, a moment of silence so I can walk with Elias. Okay. Moment of silence. All right, and we're back. So, the Demon, Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. Pretty easy call.
Oh, it's definitely going to be Bray Wyatt. Nah, it's going to be Finn Balor. I mean, the Demon's only lost 1 time against Samoa Joe, so I don't expect him to lose again to Bray Wyatt. So, the Demon's going to go over tonight.
Last time we also saw the Demon was at last year's SummerSlam. So, it is a special night for Finn Balor. That is for sure.
Let's pray that he does not get hurt.
Yes.
SummerSlam.
Now, with 3 matches to go on this card, we would have John Cena versus Baron Corbin. I think
it's pretty obvious now that he's not that he's failed his cash in. It's going to go with Cena.
Well, I think if Corbin beats Cena, it doesn't hurt him. It doesn't bury him to the point where he might not have a return. So, I don't know, because Cena's on a 7 SummerSlam losing streak. And it's actually gotten to the point now where I think, if I'm not mistaken, WWE has mentioned it. And usually when they mention these things, something gets broken. Because don't forget, they didn't start pushing Charlotte's pay-per-view record until toward the end of her run.
No, they did the same thing with. Actually, they didn't. With Undertaker, they did that for like, God,
5 years,
8 or 9 years.
It started with I want to say Shawn Michaels.
They started. I want to say they started with Orton. No, they started with Orton.
No,
because he was 20. Because he was 21-0. I remember it. Because he was going to be the one who finally breaks a streak.
But it was for
Orton is already.
Though.
What, for Orton and Undertaker at WrestleMania?
The world title.
No, it wasn't. Because for the world heavyweight title, it was Triple H versus Batista, and for the WWE Championship, it was JBL versus John Cena. It's my favorite WrestleMania of all time.
So what? WrestleMania 20?
WrestleMania 21.
No, 21 was Triple H versus Cena, and then 21 also had a triple threat match between Rey Mysterio. Pretty sure
it was WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. Was it 19 or 20? Wow, I think it was 21. I want to say it was 21. I'm about to look.
Because WrestleMania 20 went Hollywood.
Give me like 3 seconds.
The best match I bet will either be AJ and Owens, or a match everyone is overlooking, the Balor and Wyatt match. Could. But I think Finn Balor easily goes over. And I also think Cena's going to break his record with it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I've seen it. Cena and Corbin. I mean, if he beats Corbin, then he breaks it. But it just depends on whether or not they're gonna give that to Cena, or if they're gonna have Corbin go over. It just, for me, when I look at it, I honestly don't think it hurts Cena to have a SummerSlam losing streak. After everything else he's done, I don't think it hurts him at all.
All right, well. Next one is
WrestleMania 21. Triple H defends the World Heavyweight Championship.
Then it was 22 that
22 was Triple H again defending.
Cena.
Yeah, so WrestleMania goes Hollywood. WrestleMania 21 against Batista. JBL defends against John Cena.
Well,
and Big Show did the sumo match.
What is up with this picture?
The Samoan superstar. But yeah, that was WrestleMania 21, my absolute favorite. Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. Oh my god. Now you can't tell me you don't remember WrestleMania 21 with Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. If you haven't seen it, you go back and
I've
watch
heard great
it. It was
things about it.
Classic. Instant classic.
All right, well, moving on. The WWE Championship. Shinsuke Nakamura. Jinder Mahal.
Shinsuke.
I think so, too. I have a hard time saying that because...
Well, I mean, anybody can get involved.
We easily say this, but knowing the WWE...
They could have Mahal go over on Shinsuke.
So I think
with the Great Khali's help and the Singh brothers' help.
Yeah, I think Shinsuke wins, gets his first title.
But I tell you what, I will throw my controller across the room if Shinsuke Nakamura hits Jinder Mahal with the Kinshasa and Jinder kicks out. I'm sorry.
No, nobody's kicked out. You can't have anybody kick out. Not yet. You have to wait till WrestleMania to have the first person kick out. And I think you have the person be AJ Styles because he could say, "I know," because they've wrestled. They wrestled at Wrestle Kingdom 10. Have him be the first one to kick out. But then again, AJ would be on Raw. So, who knows? So, yeah, I think Shinsuke goes over as well. And with that being said, we have one more match, and that is the Fatal 4-Way between Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar.
If Brock Lesnar loses, he leaves WWE.
Yep. Now, I'm going to go with a hard prediction here. I think you have Brock in the middle of the ring. Roman is sitting there. Samoa Joe and Strowman is out. All three competitors have eliminated Strowman. And Samoa Joe's at the side of the ring. You have Roman Reigns about to end Brock Lesnar's reign. He's about to hit the spear. And then you hear the infamous Undertaker dong.
That's big, dude. That's big. No, it is. If they're going to bring Undertaker out of supposed retirement.
Because Undertaker was seen on a plane to New York. Undertaker has been seen in New York. He hasn't fully announced a retirement. And the only people that are pushing this retirement is Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman.
You know what? I honestly think that was his retirement from WrestleMania.
Could be.
Because that's what's been his defining moment in the last 10 years has been the streak, and everyone has to wrestle Undertaker at WrestleMania. That's the one thing everybody covets doing.
Mm-hmm. But I do even if Undertaker doesn't come out, Lesnar wins.
I'm going to say Lesnar goes over.
Yeah, there's no way that Lesnar is just going to pull the "well, I'm done" card, and because he's still contracted to WrestleMania. So, but I do think at the end of the day, SummerSlam could be good. Will it? I'm probably going to be complaining about it at the end of the day.
As long as Brock isn't pinned in under a minute, we're good.
Yep. But with less than an hour before the pay-per-view starts, be sure to tune in immediately following SummerSlam. We'll be giving our thoughts and if we like it or not, obviously. So be sure to tune in immediately following that. But until then, until next time, guys, peace out.